Today, we're going to dive into a really crucial concept for any founder out there, the Day Zero Startup Checklist. We are going to break down those essential first moves that can turn a simple idea into a business that's actually fundable. So let's get right into it. So let me just ask you a question right off the bat. When do you think a startup really begins? Is it the moment you launch? The day you finally get your first customer? Maybe it's the second you write that first line of code. You know, the common answers, they usually circle around these big external things, right? The launch, that first funding check, the first bit of code. But the real beginning, the moment that truly sets the tone for everything else, it's an internal thing. It's the decision, deep down, that this idea matters, and you're going to treat it like a real company from this point on. And that moment, it has a name, Day Zero. See, this isn't about getting a pat on the back from someone else. It's an internal commitment. It is the instant you switch from just being a hobbyist to being a founder. And honestly, it's probably the most important day in your company's entire life. Everything we're going to talk about today is built on this one idea.
Okay, so what's the very first move on Day Zero? It all starts with this really crucial mental shift. You've got to frame your problem first by learning to think like a company, not just as a builder.
Let's just break this down for a second. Builder thinking is all about the what. You know, the features, the code, the solution itself. But company thinking, that zeroes in on the why. Why this problem? Why this market? And the big one, why now? On Day Zero, trust me, finding the right direction is way more important than just moving fast. In this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of it. Early investors, they're not funding your code, they're backing your clarity. They're investing in the way you see the world, in your frame. A really strong frame does all the heavy lifting for you. It proves you get the pain point, like intimately. It makes your solution feel completely inevitable, not just another random idea. And that is what makes those early talks with investors and customers actually stick. All right, now that you've got your frame locked in, the next crucial step is to protect it. This brings us to our second pillar, protecting your edge early, and really understanding why smart founders protect before they publish.
Okay, listen up, because this is a big one. The moment you share your idea publicly, and I'm talking a blog post, a demo, even a simple Discord chat, a legal clock starts ticking. If you wait too long to even think about intellectual property, you could actually lose the rights to your own core innovation. For any deep tech founders out there, this can be an absolutely critical mistake.
So here's the playbook. It's simple, but it's powerful. First, document your innovations, just for your own internal records. Second, be super clear on what counts as public disclosure, because it's way broader than you might think. And third, the golden rule. File to protect your core ideas before you go wide with them.
And let's be totally clear. This is not about going into total stealth mode and being afraid to talk to anyone. It's about being strategic. It's about being smart with what you share, when you share it, and what you make sure to protect before you do.
So you've framed your problem and you've protected your idea. Now it's time to build. This brings us to our third pillar, your internal engine. And this is all about designing for momentum, even before you have a single user. On Day Zero, it is so easy to start chasing those vanity metrics, downloads, signups, but real momentum, that's internal. It's about the quality of the insights you're generating, the decisiveness of your actions, and setting up a regular rhythm of learning. This is the stuff that really matters when nobody's watching. And this is what savvy investors and your future team members are really looking for. They want to see motion with purpose. They want to understand your internal machinery. How do you process feedback? How do you kill bad ideas? How do you double down on what's working? That builds trust so much more effectively than any flashy landing page ever could. Which brings us to our final pillar, signaling your vision. The most crucial thing to get here is that fundability isn't something that's just created in a single pitch meeting. No, it's a pattern you build over time, and it all starts on Day Zero. You know, the old myth of stealth mode where you just hide until some big reveal, that usually just creates confusion. The smarter way to do it is with controlled visibility. It's not about being loud, it's about being focused in shaping your story from the very beginning. You're trying to build curiosity, not a fortress.
So what does this signal actually look like in practice? Well, it's all the small things that add up. A clean, tight website, a one-liner that just sticks in your head, a thoughtful post about your market. These are the breadcrumbs that create a pattern of credibility. And that's what makes investors feel like they're discovering someone who's really going somewhere.
And that really leads us to this powerful idea. A fundable CEO isn't just born the day they get a term sheet. No, they emerge through a whole series of steady, thoughtful moves that all begin right back where we started, on day zero.
Just remember, the foundational work you're doing right now, how you frame the problem, the discipline of your internal engine, how you protect your core ideas, this isn't just busy work. It sets the entire trajectory for your company.
So, as we wrap this up, the only question that really matters is the one right there on your screen. You don't need permission or funding to get started. Your day zero is right now. The real question is, what's your first move going to be?